guys, this is Kajal. Welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about something which has haunted me for years, which is the biggest blunders I have done in interviews, which you might be doing as well, and it's costing you your dream job. And these are not something which I've learned from YouTube or talking to someone else. It's purely based on my personal experience. So let's get started. Starting with a tip. When you start the interview, normally the interviewer will ask you, "Hey Kajal, how are you?" You might want to answer, "Hey Rita, I'm doing great. How about you?" It's a bit boring. "Hey Rita, how's the weekend?" Or, my favorite, "Happy New Year," or "Happy Christmas." "Hey, how's the new year treating you?" The first mistake that I've always been guilty about is talking too soon. It's totally fine. You are nervous in an interview and you're really getting that anxiety kicking in, you're sweating and everything. And as soon as the interview asks the questions, you just talk too soon. It has nothing to do with being a bad candidate for the role. Remember, people will not remember what you said to them. They will always remember how you made them feel. So you don't need to continue the conversation as soon as the interviewer stops. It's completely fine to stop and then talk. Second, this also leads me to another point. Never ever interrupt the interviewer, no matter how long they've been talking. Of course, yeah, there's a limit, but still. Now, anxiety also leads us to repeat certain words again and again. For example, it's my personal habit of saying thank you again and again. So start with, "Hey, thank you for calling me for this interview. I'm super excited to be here." Then, "Hey, thank you for taking the time. Hey, thank you so much for answering that question. Hey, thank you, thank you. Thank you this and thank you that." It's too much. Don't say thank you a lot of time. If you still want to say it, say something else like appreciate it. "Hey, that's great to hear." You say this again and again, you might come across as desperate and someone who is over pleaser, and this will never settle good with an interviewer who is serious about taking intelligent candidates. Now, talking about wrong answers, I have another mistake that a lot of us make, and I'm pretty sure you will agree with me on that when an interviewer asks a question, we tend to give a wrong answer even though we don't know about what we're talking about, and even though we are pretty certain that what we are saying is not the exact thing that the interviewer is looking for. Don't make that mistake. It's a blunder, and it's the number one reason the interviewer can cancel your application. So what you're gonna do, always ask clarifying question. Make it a habit. Whenever you don't know what the interviewer is talking about, no matter how important it is for your job role, no matter if it's a life or death situation, ask clarifying question. Even if it's the most fundamental one, ask it until you know what the topic is about or what exactly the interviewer wants to know. Don't start your answer. The next mistake I'm going to talk about, you might have heard it a lot of times, that you're not asking questions at the end. It's very important to ask your questions, especially with the hiring manager. But you also want to customize your questions based on who the interviewer is. So, for example, if HR is your interviewer, you might want to ask about the work culture, the company's culture, who you're going to work with. But if you have the interview with your technical manager or the hiring manager, you might want to ask about the role, in-depth questions. What softwares do you use? Or what do you expect me to do for the first 3 months? These are some very classic but powerful questions that you can ask anytime. But I would definitely suggest you to do a bit of research beforehand and prepare some questions that you're really interested in, because your true passion definitely passes across the interview, and the interviewer will be impressed by you if you're not asking any generic questions and you're truly interested in knowing about the role more. The next mistake is also quite common, but I'm going to put it in a different way. So, talking bad about your previous employers or current company is a definite no. Not because it's not the truth, But nobody wants to know the truth. And if you talk bad about your previous employer, the interviewer will definitely think that you might talk about them behind their backs as well. This gives an absolute negative impression. And in any case, you're not going to do it, even if you have a legal case going on with your current employer. So, are there any better ways to do it? Yes, definitely. Let's say, for example, you're leaving your current job because the management is poor. You see, you're not learning much and nobody likes you. You're not going to say, oh, I am leaving my current job because the management is very poor. They are not providing me with enough opportunities to learn. It's an absolute no no because it shows that you are not taking initiative, that the management is poor, but you're also not doing anything to grow yourself in that field. That's what the interviewer will see. So, I would rather say, I'm leaving my current job because there are not quite enough growth opportunities due to the dynamics of the management. See, there are a lot of technical jargon, and nobody needs to know what that exactly means. Now, the next point is rather controversial. There will be a lot of interviewers who might not treat you very well. And if you feel the need to call them out, it's totally fine. For instance, there was an interview where I was scheduled for an hour, and the interviewer asked me a few questions related to my current job. And after 15 minutes, he said, "Yeah, that's fine. It was nice meeting you." And I was taken aback. So I asked him, "Why aren't you asking me any technical questions related to the role to assess my knowledge?" And then he went on to discuss the role and the industry, and the interview went on for 1 hour. Needless to say that I didn't get the job because I already knew in the interview that he had already selected a candidate before and the interview was just a formality. But also make sure that you're not overly rude with the interviewer. Keep it in a professional way. So there could be some instances where the interviewer is only informing you about the job role. So, for example, let's say the interviewer says, "I read your resume and the job role requires you to be on the technical side of the job. So, if you would like to work with more creative roles, this job might not be for you." There was a time when the interviewer started the interview like this, and I got super mad at him. And, why then you're interviewing me if you already know that I'm not good for this job? But it was a wrong stance on my behalf because he was just informing me. The interview went on as well, but that definitely caused sourness between us. I didn't get the job, of course, but I think, yeah, that's a hard lesson I learned. So that's it. I'm going to wrap it up. And if you found it helpful, let me know. And if you have any questions, please feel free to put in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.